What's up, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of Shockpod. On this podcast, we have Bear and we have Wing, and we are going to talk about all things. We're going to talk about our life. We're going to talk about maybe some of the things that we usually do when we are not filming.
Oh, yeah,
And
our
then-
day-to-day stuff lah.
Something we can talk about. It's just a casual setting where we can just talk about life lah. It's- All of our video is about drift, smokes, adrenaline. So I think it would be quite interesting if we can show the more personal side of things lah.
Yeah, and then I think a lot of people, maybe because they join us a bit late in our journey on TikTok, so they can know how we started, how you started, then I came in. So yeah. Anyways, like what actually prompted you to
Start doing videos.
Yeah.
Funny thing before I came from advertising industry.
Okay.
Okay, so I do ads. I think got 10 years already. Got 10 years already. 19.
Damn.
Very beginning of times when Facebook, everyone started using Facebook. I'm the one that go and talk to businesses and try to sell them. Okay, you know what? I can do ads for you, and then you can get customers just by running money on ads rather than you printing flyer or going to billboard and stuff. And I remember that time when I talked to all the small shops, small business, they don't believe in it. Say, how can Facebook make business for me? It doesn't make sense to them. And then I do a lot of job for clients lah. And then came a point where I started to do content. And then I started from doing vlog for my agency back then.
Oh,
Vlogs
you had
lah.
your own agency.
Yeah, running a team of about 10 people lah. Then I started to what if I can also become someone who can do content like YouTuber. That time YouTube is coming up.
Yeah.
Then I started, first channel I started is actually a food channel.
Food.
ASMR food.
Whoa.
So I eat nasi lemak and I bought a bloody expensive microphone, yeah, it's like that one. Got people watch, but then I gained 10 kilogram in a month because
damn.
we have to keep eating,
Yeah.
right? So like okay, screw it. I don't want to be, no offense, I don't want to be fat, man. Then I want to be fit lah. Then because of that, during MCO I started a fitness channel. So I want to try to lose weight, right? I do fitness every day. I do one punch man challenge, 100 sit up, 100 push
Push
up,
up, yeah.
100 squat.
10
And then we
kilometer
cannot run,
Yeah.
So I do plank 3
Ah.
minutes. Every day I did that. I lost 10 kg. Then I'm like, okay, now I can see six pack a little bit. What's next? Do I want to be buff? Do I want to be like super huge or what? I don't want. Then what's next? Maybe car lor. I always wanted to get into the car scene, learn about car, but don't have the chance. That's why I bought the Prelude in Terengganu. Took a bus there, bought the Prelude. Then that time TikTok just rising. So in the R&R coming back, right, I drove the car back 7 hours, and then I fell asleep in the R&R. Woke up, film a video lah. Came back, got 20,000 views. Then next day I kept doing videos. Some hit, some doesn't hit, but I kept doing, and then until I met you.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know how we met. Let me get comfortable. Okay. I think a lot of people don't know how we met lah. So, you were my senior in school. Somehow we were Facebook friends.
Yeah.
Somehow lah, we were
Yeah.
Facebook friends. Then you posted, I'm looking for cars to shoot. Because I think that time you saw the potential on TikTok for car content. You posted. Then I came from a classic car background lah. I think you remember lah. So we used to even though I'm only 27 now, started playing cars when I was 18, and I just got my license. So the first car that I got, well, not bought lah, the car that I got was a Pajero Sport.
Oh.
My father's old car, SUV. Just something just didn't feel right driving that car lah, Then I don't know why every time when I see a Ferrari or Lambo, it doesn't really excite me. But then when I see like an old 123 Mercedes, I say, whoa.
So the 123 Mercedes is the first car that caught your eyes.
The first ever car that actually really caught my eye into this kind of like old school vibe was actually an E30.
E30, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wow, what is this? This car still run, man? You know, usually when people see those kind of cars, those time, bro, we cannot say, when we say those days, people might think we're very old. Actually, this car started increasing in price just a few years ago. So when I saw the E30, then I was like, wow, this is only a 2 or 3K, and I don't have money on, zero money on. Then I go and pester my dad lah. Really pester mom and dad, and I really want a classic car. I really want a classic car. And then I didn't know that my uncle, which is this one, he was actually very into classic cars at that time. Then I think my mom and dad couldn't take it from me, keep pestering them. So they called me, then I called my uncle, it's like, okay, find him a car. Legit, bro, it took us at least a year to find a proper car. So that was where when I bought the first ever time I bought a classic car, I bought three. Bought three classic cars. I bought a Volvo 122 coupe, which is a 2-door. Then I bought a Volvo 121 wagon. And then we were supposed to, 2 cars, sorry, because we were supposed to buy a Jaguar, but it didn't go through. Bought the cars, it took another 2 years to restore them. So it took me at least about 3 years lah to get into a classic car.
When I met you, is the 122 wagon, I saw.
No, the red color car?
The red one I didn't see.
I think that time I sold already lah. Because that was the first car, then I fully restored, I think like bare metal paint job, doing the engine and whatnot. I kept the 122 wagon because I fell in love with it. And then, we started going for classic car drives, and whatnot here and there. Then I started buying a lot more cars. Because that time, I already had a job, was quite stable. So started buying a lot more cars because we were flipping cars lah. Had a car, 122, sold it, bought another car, bought another car, blah, 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 blah. And the collection grew to about 8 cars at one point.
You keep rolling the money from the first few cars.
Yeah, it grew to like 8 cars. So at one point, we had the Fiat X19. We had the MGB GT. We had a Volvo 121 wagon. We had a Kombi. We had an Alfa Sat TI. And a few other like shit boxes lah. Then I remember this so vividly that how this drift topic came into the picture was, I contacted the accessory shop, the guy who always called orang kaya on. So we went to that accessory shop and I was like, hey, I don't know why that time I wanted to get into JDM, but I didn't want just any JDM like a S15 or whatnot. I want something that like, the thing that made me fall in love was the EG6 lah.
Oh yeah, EG6.
So I was like, hey, this car got out of nowhere he called me, he said, hey, I found this car, it's only in Kajang. So I went to the shop, currently a boy shop lah. So I went to the shop, I was like, what the hell, why so many beat up shit, a lot of shit boxes, like a lot of beat up.
Like rust buckets.
Calling it rust bucket is an understatement. It was really bad, Then I asked the guy, that time we were not close. I asked him, I said, what are you doing with all these cars? They said, oh, these are drift cars. I was like, at that point, right, even though I was in the car scene for a long time, met a lot of racers and all, I didn't know there was actually a drifting in Malaysia one. Then, rather than buying the EG6, the very next day, I went and bought a KE. I never even tell you at the time. I went and bought the KE. I came back and said, bro, I bought a drift car. Huh? The first thing he told me was, Malaysia got drift, man? I still remember it. So we bought a KE. Then me and you, we went to Alizo. Went and drift. We drove the car, from Kajang to Shah Alam. Went and drift in Alizo. We burned the clutch in about, I think, 10 minutes. Then after that, Zen, I think he saw that we were trying to do something with content and all this. I think that time we had 20,000 followers, 20 to 25K. It's not a lot. I remember it was really not a lot. So then we took the KE, started doing some stuff. Then Zen offered to borrow us his car, GT86. Really, really grateful for that. So we used Zen's GT and then somehow we picked it up on that day itself. Rather than wow, we really suffered with the KE. But when we sat in that car, it's like, oh.
Like almost like first attempt we got it.
We got it. Then it slowly grew lah. You bought a KE from Aboy. Then after that, I bought a Zafiro, blah, 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 blah. And then it was not planned. Nothing was planned to change the channel into a drifting channel. Zero.
It's like when you bought the car, then things just happen along the way.
Yeah, we were just supposed to do some car content on some classic cars and all this thing. Then suddenly, just out of nowhere, we are in the drifting world already. So then after that, we met Buzai. Then, you know, we went to Kuantan that time. That time we don't know anything. We went to Kuantan, met Buzai, blah, blah, blah. You know, slowly met more people. Then I called you and I decided to actually, like, why not we take the next step into the drifting world, which is going to competitive drifting. So that time he didn't have a car. I had the Sefiro. The Sefiro gave me a lot of problems at that time. Then slowly then I got very fed up with the Sefiro. So both my Sefiros. Then I went and bought the S15.
Every time we go event together,
sure
water come out lah, overheat lah.
Sure got some
turbo leak lah.
bullshit lah. Which really, I was a very die-hard RB fan. Like super die-hard, like spent a lot of money. I sold every single Classica I had, putting it into drifting. Everything was gone, right? All the Classica, which I don't feel bad. Because I feel like drifting is quite fun lah. You know, community is good. Sometimes bad, but most and all is good. Then sold everything. Then I was like, oh shit, man, the Sefiro is really pissing me off. Then I like told our boy, I was like, you better go and find me a very good car right now. I cannot handle. Then sold everything, went and bought the S15. That was a very big investment. The S15 was a huge ass investment because the car was a full competition built car. And I told myself when I'm going to start drifting, I'm never going to buy a track car, but that didn't happen. The S15 became a track car already. So started using the S15 touchwood until now lah. We are still in I think in Malaysia, we are the biggest drift channel lah, for drifting lah, per se. Of course, we haven't achieved what we want to achieve in the competitive world, but we decided to take a break this year because of all the bullshit that has been going on in the drift community, and of course I'm getting married also. But
Congrats.
yeah, but you know, I'm selling the S15. You know, so it is the plan to sell the S15 was 1 year. It was like 1 year I've been contemplating to just sell the S15. Couldn't do it. But just 3 days ago, I like sat down and I like, okay, I think it's time lah. Because I feel like not doing the car justice.
What makes you feel like you want to sell the S15? Before we talk about that, maybe we can talk about like why do we decided to take a break from this drift scene?
Drifting is if anybody that wants to come into drifting, like we host a lot of classes now, like a lot of classes, and we meet a lot of people, and then most of them they always tell us like, hey, how do I get into competitive style drifting? The first thing we always tell them is, it is very expensive. No matter how low you go, you don't talk about drifting for fun. You know, for fun, you're going to spend 2,000-3,000 or so on.
Yeah.
It's no joke one. With the towing, everything you calculate, it's at least 2-3K one. When you when the word competition comes out from the mouth, even if you go very minimal, it's about 6K. With registration fees and all these things.
I've joined the amateur race, also around actually 10 to 12K.
Yeah, so like the S15 is running E85, you know, and then you have to use the best bloody engine oil and all this thing, you know. Shout outs to Toby, man, you know, my tuner. Without him, I don't think the S15 would have come this far lah, because the first owner was a really good owner, but he just wanted to sell the car because he was building another car. The second owner sold the car to me because I think he wasn't really comfortable with the car. So when I took over the car, I knew who was the tuner. So I directly contacted the tuner. I tell him, hey, this thing. And to people who know GT Auto, right, they always got something to say about him one. But I always would defend him because without him, that car wouldn't have brought where we are today is one part of the S15.
Yeah.
But the second thing is where, you know, got Rookie of the Year, the amount of best smokes we got from this event.
All this from the S15.
Yeah, so it's like, without him, shout outs, man, without him, definitely the car wouldn't have come far. But why is it now we decide to sell and why we took a break? It's because the drift scene is getting out of hand.
Very messy.
It's very messy. I think everyone has their own intentions, right? Everyone wants to see good for the drift community. But for us why our drift class are so cheap is because our main goal was not to make money. Our main goal was to make sure new players come into the drift scene. That is why when they ask us, like, can we go for competition, we will tell them it's expensive. But if they want to move forward, it's up to them, right? Then we will guide them. But it became to a point where our drift class got sabotaged. Remember when we were going to Johor that time, it got sabotaged. One group said they were going to give it to us, then they didn't give it to us. It's fine. We are not going to go into that. But me and Wing, we are not the type to give up. We never give up. So we actually, why not you pull out some money? Pull out some money from our personal funds. Let's send the cars there. Send our cars there. So we sent our cars there. The class went well and whatnot. Then we started going to competitions again. I think when the first year we bought the S15, we were very active. Then we took a small break, like a short one. Then we went back into comp again because
Committed the whole year.
because D1 and all was coming in. Then that is when we saw like, holy shit, this is getting like quite out of hand now.
It's like when we first joined drifting, after we learned from Zen, straight away we went to the Drift Sandboy, hosted by the Bujan one. Wow, I feel that was the most exciting and the most true feeling to what drifting should be like.
Exactly, because and that time the sad part was we were not ready to drive like mad.
Yeah.
That was the sad part because like now the event is not there. I feel like now if we go, it's going to be insane for us because that time we were just new.
And the time like MCO, everyone stopped drifting for a few years.
Yeah.
Then everyone come out, so exciting. You
correct.
see everyone is playing with each other.
Yeah.
But then after we joined 1 year, start competition, all this, then we started to see more and more people host event, but the community gets more and more split apart.
It
feels
personally, I feel like if a few people do it, it's always good. It's rather than you just go for one. I understand that a lot of people feel like they want to. The problem is they are not splitting because of, I also want to do. They're splitting is I'm not happy with you.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with you. I'm not happy with you. I'm going to do. Then what happens is when that person does it, I'm not happy with you again. And then that person is going to split.
Then it's very, how to say, very confused. Like what's happening?
It's super
this one don't come with this, this
yeah.
one don't come with this.
And then it's like for us is we open our arms to anybody who wants to learn drifting. I think we trained a few influencers before. And then, they came into drifting, then they decided to go on their own path, which is fine. We don't complain anything, because as long as they keep doing what they're doing, this sport in Malaysia, for me, what I look into it, even though we've been in the sport for 3 years now, I think professionally maybe about 2 years, I think a good 2 years, but coming into drifting, I think 4 years already. We came in when we first started. But we really embedded ourselves in the community because we did some few events and all, We were the first to actually bring in drifters for free to our own event, and it wasn't sponsored, as long as they do taxi ride. I feel like after that, like everything started to, it was like a plane without fuel already. It just keep descending and descending and descending, and to a point now where it's like, there is no momentum in the drift scene right now. Like zero momentum. So I feel like a lot of people, they are actually trying to do good for the scene, but they must also understand the drifters. Because not every drifter is rich. Most drifters are very rich. I mean, this sport it requires you to have a good job, steady pay and whatnot. But for like me and you, we don't have very good jobs, right? We don't have steady pay. We really rely on our sponsors, Shock Gang, Halo, Without them also, we wouldn't have come this far, per se.
Shout out to Shock Gang.
Because without them also, we wouldn't have come this far. But again, like after all these things happened, and then we were actually unhappy. So, like 3 groups, like OBG, Big Man, Uncle Jet, and also TV Chong, with the Dato Sri Sherwin. Then after that, Eric Wong, decided to, they are going to do an event. Then I messaged Eric Wong. I was like, I want to support. I'm coming in to support the event. Then I never asked him permission also, because I straight away say we're going to support, because he will always say yes one, because it's not about making money, it's about supporting
The scene
smaller events lah. So when we went, we won't say what happened before that event lah. You know, I think most of the drifters know what happened before that event. Some major argument in the professional scene. Then you know, and it was caught on live and all. So that one we don't comment, because both parties are at fault. So it's nothing for us to comment. But after that, we came out, did a fun drift event, right? Major turnout. Inshallah, I still remember. Beautiful turnout, a lot of people and whatnot. Then when we were leaving in the car, the thing that always makes me like feel very good inside is when we were leaving, Uncle Jet was like, oh, very good lah, bro. Very good. You know? So I sat down with Eric Wong, sat down with Jason, me, you, Jason and Eric. We're like, okay, we are going to do something now. So then came out Drift Underground, which was on last November, which I think was a major success story for us lah. Because we never had one event. Like, we have done a lot of events before. There was never one event we profited.
Yeah.
0-1. It's always negative one. This was the first event we actually broke even, which was amazing. We gave away a car. You know, we gave away a car. You buy the drift taxi ticket, or you buy the t-shirt, you get a chance to get the car. Some people were telling we faked the thing lah, which is not, you know.
We did live.
Yeah, we did live, you know, we pulled out the thing, you know, and end up one of the guys who brought his car there, who is a E36 owner, who took back the car.
Yeah.
So when we do that, we a lot of drifters started talking to us, saying that, hey, when's the next one? When's the next one? When's the next one? Then we were like, okay, so the next event is going to be in May. Out of nowhere, suddenly some stupid shit happened again.
What happened?
Yeah, I mean, the thing I think can be settled lah. You know, fun drift event, you know, someone said that we have to take some MAM approval and all. It's not a competition. You know,
It's weird lah.
yeah, it's very weird.
Why
because
does it need MAM sanction?
I mean, like, I understand MAM's side, they need to sanction competitions,
Yeah.
but coming to, and which I fully support lah, you know, of course you have to have sanctions,
Safety,
right?
man.
It's safety first one. But when it comes to like this, what do you call it? Grassroots events.
Yeah.
It's very grassroots one. You know, it's drifters coming to have fun. We are providing taxi rides, and for us is we know which drivers to pass the taxi ride to. We don't just simply give Tom, Dick and Harry. You know, and then just when we started posting everything, then boom. You know, suddenly they said that we have to take MAM approval, which was not from instruction from MAM, which was instruction from a third party.
Yeah.
Then when we check and all, it was not the case.
No such thing.
There was no such thing, right? So we actually called here and there. There was no such thing about this thing. So that is why, like again, we go back to the topic why we took a break. It's because of this shit.
Yeah.
It's because there are people who are very unhappy with what we are doing, you know, which doesn't make sense to me. We 3 days lah. We can't say 4 because Thursday is of course setup day.
Yeah.
Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 days of drifting. We're charging $500. You know, and it's from 11 to 11. 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
And the tent is provided.
Tent is provided free. And then it's like, we are doing all this, right? And then, like, we are taking a huge cost on the tent because the tent is $300. That's not including electricity on the tent. And that's for 4 days, you know.
Yeah.
And then all these things we are doing, and then they're just people who are unhappy. You know, we don't know who lah, right? But they're just people that are unhappy with us doing this shit, which really doesn't make sense to me. We are not overly charging the drivers. We are not charging $1,000 or so.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday only we had the discussion what we want to charge, and I actually said $650, which Eric Wong and you said no, $550 is enough. Which is, for me, I'm okay. You know, we are following the flow because we got sponsors to cover the event.
I think that's why drifting in Malaysia, in a way, is very hard to grow.
Yeah.
Whenever, like, we are doing all this initiative, we are bringing in new drifters, we are promoting it, we are bringing awareness, we are educating, And then now we are doing events that help drifter. At the same time, more people get to know what drift
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
But then somehow there will be sabotage or things happening behind the scene.
Yeah, which a lot of people tell me when I talk to motorsport people, they say every motorsport got one. Then when I tell them the stories about drifting, they're like, whoa. They like, wow. Like that also can. I mean, one of the big stories was the Honda Day one, you remember? The one they gave a very shit car. I mean, for me, is you're getting a car. Don't complain.
Yeah.
Right? You're getting a free car. If the car is like that, you have to see it. But okay, kudos to them. They actually gave the guy a BMW after that.
Yeah.
But you see, their initiative is they always take a problem and they turn it into something better. That means, shit car, or they sell a lot of t-shirt, that money can buy a better car, blah, blah, blah. They actually bought a better car.
But they give a BMW in Honda Day.
I'm happy lah.
Yeah, I'll be happy lah.
Yeah, I'm happy lah, But you see, like those communities, especially like the organizers, right? When they hear a problem, they actually go and settle the problem,
Yeah, kudos to them.
Yeah, they don't give excuses. Last time when we used to run event, we used to give excuses also lah. Why the ticketing ran away, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. But we come to a point where now we have a good team, which is of course us Cargasm, then Drift Nuts, which is run by Eric Wong, then also OBG done by Uncle Jet and the team. Which I feel like three of us is like we need each other one. We need Uncle Jet's expertise on drivers. I personally feel, of course, there are a few teams like FRT, OBG and whatnot. I personally feel OBG is for me is the most professional team in Malaysia right now. There is no team out there more professional than them lah.
Yeah.
The way they come in, the way they set up, the way Uncle Jen actually disciplines his students, and his students are very, very successful people. But the way they listen to him, I feel like that is what every team should aspire to be. I understand drifting is fun. We have to have fun once in a while. But I feel like OBG, they have that to bring to the table. Eric Wong, of course, his table is the arrangement. The guy is a master in arranging all this stuff one.
Yeah.
And for us, it's just awareness, right? We are bringing the word out that, hey, we have an event here, whatnot. And of course, we bring in our sponsors to come in lah.
Yeah.
But you see, we trying to do all these things, then some bullshit happens. Which I
Don't understand.
yeah, the last competition for me was the last competition that I joined. Is the last competition I'm going to join. I'm not going to join any competition after this, even though we heard Formula Drift is also coming. I think I'm going to take a very long break because, of course, again, I have to focus on the
For you, it's all this drama lah.
For me, it's the drama lah. I don't like it. Yeah, because I'm a very nosy person. I like to get into. I'm very nosy one. I want to know what's wrong.
Yeah.
Because I always want to help. What is the mediation? Like stop lah, because at one point I think you remember because of all the politics, one of our sponsors pulled out from the event, and I still remember this very because of all the stupid politics. The sponsors like, no, I'm not going to sponsor any drift event after this. We had sponsors like that who are telling us like that because they're like, wow, what's, and then we're like, why no. I already kena like this last time from this guy. I kena like this last time from another guy and whatnot. I was like, so all these things kind of affect us, because we are trying to do a big event, but we cannot get these huge sponsors to come in.
Yeah.
Which is very sad. Last time, bro, when you look at the old videos, you had major sponsors, I saw the tire sponsors so very cow.
The one in the KL, the old KTM in KL. What's the place area?
Okay.
Formula Drift when they came.
Oh no, they did. I think in Bandar, this Dataran Merdeka or something.
Around there. Wow. Look at the amount of crowd and the sponsor that come in.
Usually, like events like that, like they're supposed to spike up, not spike down. Like you look at Drift Masters, even when I first watched Drift Masters, when we first started, sorry, Drift Master is way better than Formula Drift. For me, it's way better. I feel like the speed and everything is different. Of course, Formula Drift drivers are a different level. It's just that Drift Masters, the crowd is insane, bro.
Yeah.
Especially when they do it in Poland, the stadium. when they first did it, well, not to say the first time they did, when I first watched, it didn't have a lot of people, you know. And just that following year, tickets were sold out like 6 months before, I think, if I remember it correctly, like 6 months before the event. And I was like, wow, when is this going to happen in Malaysia? Then me and you, like, we are going to do it one day, lah. Hopefully that day will come, lah, you know, where we can do it. But again, everybody, I feel like in Drift Masters, right? Like we can see, because the drivers are so professional at what they do, they take it as their job, right? In Malaysia, a lot of them don't take it as their job. So they have their own ideas to come in, which in turn, too many chefs spoils the soup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You will say the salt is not enough, I'll say the salt is more than enough and whatnot, blah, 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 you know. You always have to have a mediatory where one thing Malaysian drift scene don't have is what? Is a community and actually a table of people. You know?
Like a drift association.
Something like that. We don't have that. You know, we don't have a proper drift association where everybody can come. Everybody elect one president. The president will stand there, vice president, whatnot. Every 2 months have a meeting. What is the situation? Right? You always have to have a mediatory one. Because if what I'm looking at, right, if drifting keep going down this same path every single time, it will die off one. The sport will get so irritated that it will just die off. That is why you see now a lot of drivers they rather go to Thailand and go and play. They rather not play here, you know. And then you know, we had some competitions that were unsanctioned, you know, which is, for me, it's quite sad. Cannot blame the organizer because, again, they're just unhappy with the process.
Yeah.
Right? Like for us is we of course we want to do competition sooner or later. Of course we will get it sanctioned. But again, what is the process? You know, what is the situation going to be? Because a lot of people, they said that, oh, if you do this, somebody will come. If you do this, another person will come.
Yeah.
So it's becoming to a point where I rather not do it.
For me, the moment where I had the thought that, oh, maybe take a break first from competition is actually when I was on the podium. Like, when we started drifting, is for fun, ma.
Yeah, correct.
This is like, wow, what is this new world, new thing? As we go into competitive, of course, it's quite stressful. Sometimes the car.
Of course, yeah.
The one day before, you cannot sleep, man.
Yeah.
Make sure everything done, then next day ready for competition.
Yeah.
But I remember when I got the first podium, that was during, I feel, the fall of the drift community in terms of the competitive scene. Because less and less drivers are coming.
Yeah.
The hype just wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
So when I got the podium, it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like, oh, yeah, wow, because of this podium, my life will be changed. Sponsors will be flooding to find us. There's nothing like that at all.
Yeah, because I feel like drifting doesn't have that benefit yet here because of all these politics.
In the end, it's just a medal.
Yeah. Because you remember the first time we joined competition, bro, the amount of people? I think like the first ever time like we were really into like competition, I remember like 30 plus cars, 40 cars.
Yeah.
You know, and I qualified, because I know I qualified quite low, because at that time only 32 drivers, and I qualified quite low, so I didn't get in. I still remember so vividly the amount of drivers. Throughout every competition,
lesser
you know,
and lesser.
and it becomes lesser and lesser and lesser. And what point?
And then at one point, like, you feel, okay, let's say me and you join then there will be 8 other drivers. So it's just 10 of us competing for the national title. What's the point?
But you see, it's like I mean, the national title is one thing. We have to give respect to the people who really they like Team FRT they non-stop one.
They never stop.
They never stop. You know, like Fuseng, Along, they don't stop one. They every competition they can go, they will go. Same like OBG. OBG has never stopped ever. You know. Then when we saw like the last competition, you know, it was so sad to see like only 8 or 9 Malaysian drivers in the Malaysian part of drifting.
Yeah.
You know, if I forgot what's the competition, it's an international body that came in to do the drift competition, and then you had like 8 or 9.
And there were other international drivers who
Exactly,
came, right?
exactly.
What would they think about the
Yeah, what is
local
going
drift
on,
scene
you know, and then you had all these like really good drifters
Hmm.
going there to watch rather than actually compete.
Yeah.
You know, and we cannot complain because we were one of them. We were like, I'm not going to compete because I don't like what's going on, you know. And it's not to say that we are against the organizer. You know, the organizer, he has done a lot for the drifting and so, but sooner or later we have to understand the impact that this thing is giving into the drift scene.
Yeah.
We are not here long, bro. I think we are in, what I said before, like we are here 2 years only. But it's becoming, even though it's not my problem, it's giving stress to me unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Like really unnecessary stress for me.
Like, what do we gain from it?
Yeah, that's the thing because like I join a competition.
Yeah.
I'm paying blah 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 blah. You know, one competition you go out with the S15, it's 20K. That is minimum. Tires, fuel, blah blah blah. If we win, we stand up and we take a trophy.
Yeah.
If I spend 20K to do a trophy, bro, it's a very huge trophy.
Spend 12K per round, and then after committing 1 year, I got missed 1 round lah. But then I think I joined 3 rounds, 3 or 4 rounds. Podium, then nothing.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know lah. For me, it just feels like it's not to say we are doing this for something in the end lah. You know, as long as we are happy with what we accomplished, which I'm very happy with what we accomplished. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that there are drift masters and all. I don't think their prizes are also quite big. The amount of money those teams spend, bro, is no joke. You know, it's really, really no joke. Like example, like F1, they spend millions.
Yeah.
But you know, which we are okay to spend. But when I go to competition, I want to be happy. You know, for me, it's the happiness with the community. We're having fun. We're drifting on the track. I'm your enemy. Right as soon as we leave the end line, we are friends again. You know, some of us are brothers. You get what I mean? But I don't know, now I feel like the community is very, very, like somehow the community is going to explode very, very soon, I feel. Something is going to blow up lah.
Yeah.
Which I don't feel like it's the right time to actually do it. That is why I think I talked to you. I talked to a few other drifters also. Like, yeah, I think it's time for me to take a break lah.
Yeah.
Because you stopped early. Then I still keep going. But then it became a point where like, no lah, I think I'm done with this bullshit lah. Because the problem is what, you know, is every time when we go for competition, there's always some bloody rumor going around.
Yeah.
Hey, you heard this, hey, you heard that, hey, you heard this. And it just gets so damn bloody tiring, man. You know, I still remember that one guy, he came to you and talk shit about me, to you. And I was like, and then you come and tell me, and like, huh?
And I'm the type of, I don't even social. I go event, like, hi, that's it.
Yeah, you're anti-social lah. Yeah. And then I was like, and then you come and tell me this, and then you know me, my style. I directly call him. I was like, what bullshit is this? You know? And all these things is just like, oh my god, man. You
It's
know?
like I don't get like, what's their intention of doing all these things?
We are not that type of people. We cannot know what's the intention.
I cannot fathom it.
You know, they not to say they steal our sponsor lah, but you know, we had a sponsorship in line with one company. Then after that, boom, suddenly there and there lasted less than a month. Then they stopped.
Yeah.
That's why I say for us is we respect our sponsors, but then again, if the sponsors like they don't keep their word to us, why we want to push anything? You know, so all these things is like is getting very out of hand lah. Very, very out of hand. And I'll be very honest with you. After I stopped drifting, I was very sad for 6 months. After 6 months, I was super happy already. Because just stopped for 6 months, right? Had enough money to go and buy an E46. Went and bought an E46 3.0. Did all the drift modifications to it. Shout out to P1 RaceFab. Really helped out with the setup and everything. Of course, shout out Top Performance. So you know them lah, right? They do all our cars. When we took the car to Shah Alam, I felt like that was the first year we were drifting again.
Yeah.
The feeling, like, wow, you can just belt the car, no problems, no people to kacau.
Just
We
want to touch your door.
Yeah, we just going for events and having fun. And that is why 3 days ago I decided to sell the S15. I'm done. I might come into competition later on. 27 years old, still got a lot of time. Uncle Jet, damn. And he's still drifting. So he's, I mean, for me, the idols in drifting is, of course, one of them, major idol is Uncle Jet. The way he actually pushes his team is very incredible sight to see.
Yeah.
Even when we did the drift underground, they were sitting in, I still remember they were sitting in front of me and he's showing them what they have to do. It's a fun event.
Yeah.
And those kind of things are like, wow, like he takes every opportunity to teach his students, which is very, very incredible to me.
If we are the one who spread the seed around, he's the one that nurture them into trees.
Yes.
I feel that's who Uncle Jet is.
Oak trees.
Oak tree.
Yeah. Very, very strong trees, So I feel like now, currently, like our Drift Underground team, we know when our event is successful, when other people try to copy it, we know. So there was one team that tried to copy it.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, man, try to copy our event, same name and all this bullshit. But it's okay. For us, we know now,
That means we are doing the right thing.
yeah, that means it's working.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So currently I'm very happy with the team we have. I'm happy with what we are doing now, and this is like the most fun I've had drifting ever. Like these few months about 6 to 8 months this is the most fun I had. Going to Johor, doing class, having fun, breaking BC racing suspension. Shout out to Top Performance. I feel like suddenly drifting has entered back. Drifting last time for me, bro, at one point it was very burdened. It was super burdened. You imagine opening your bank account and you're only having 200 left. At one point it was like that. At one point we were so into drifting and I really wanted to finish the race. I had to spend so much money and then my account had $200. And you look at it and say, what the fuck am I doing? What are we doing? Now you open a bank account, you're like, whoa, a lot of zeros. You know what I mean?
Looking back,
Yeah. Looking back, it's like, wow, And then, now, hey, want to go drift or not? On lah. We can do that. Like last time where we cannot, So I feel like a lot of people, they don't understand. One of the reasons that we are doing this podcast today is actually to talk about all this bullshit lah. I think a few people, they're going to comment also, which we are very open. If you guys want to come to the podcast and talk what is actually going on and what not, come. Because our podcast now, this is like very temporary place for us lah. Later on, we will set up a proper place and whatnot. Then we would actually like to call all these key players in the drift scene to actually come and just talk, because we feel like things have to stop it lah. We are not children, we are grown adults. We have to see for the future of the Malaysian drift scene rather than anything else lah.
And sometimes problem, it has to be magnified before you can solve it.
Like what you say is very true. I feel like if two parties having problems, sit down, dude.
Yeah.
Sit down and talk. You guys don't go and talk behind people's back and whatnot, blah 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 blah. It's all bullshit.
Sometimes let's say me and you in a different room then somebody saw you doing something, somebody saw me doing something. But when he come and tell you, and when he come and tell me, the story can be totally twisted. Then you are angry at me for nothing.
Nothing, yeah. I feel like what are your both problems, right? Like let's just say me and you got a problem. Me and him fight all the time. It's not like we are having a very good best friendship, he's my brother. But we have arguments. But what do? You think I don't talk to him? I'll call him. What's the problem now? We sit down and we talk, so we understand. That is why until today, Cargasm has gone on without any hiccups. I feel like we have no hiccups. We have good sponsors supporting us behind. We are going to do new things.
Literally,
Because I feel like we are we are moving forward in a sense that now it's like last time we are doing this for us. You know, as a spare time. Now we are taking it very seriously. We're trying to make it into something where we can generate some income for ourselves also, right? Doing this thing. Of course, without our fans out there, again none of this can happen right? But I feel like me and you have a problem, we sit down, we talk.
Solve.
Because solve. And I'm telling you, if you sit down really, you talk, it solves in 5 minutes, one.
Yeah.
Legit, like no bullshit, it's solved in 5 minutes. You guys watch the movie, right? They have to talk, what, they talk for 10 hours, all bullshit, one. 5 minutes, sit down, talk. You're not happy with me, what's not happy? That's all, Nima.
Then we become your mediator.
So for us, is I mean, we have to say it like, we have friends on both sides. I think the both sides that are actually like really good arguments like going on right now, we are on both bloody sides. Like I respect the other guy, I also respect the other guy. But it's coming into a sense where, wow, this is getting really out of hand, you know. So
It's like the mother-in-law and the wife jump into the river. You save who?
Yeah.
So we have to let them talk first, right, before both of them jump in.
No, your mother and the wife. Because if the mother-in-law and wife,
true.
the wife mother, there's the wife mother.
Cut.
Editor.
It's me.
So I feel like the Malaysian drift scene are really got a lot of potential one. But there are a lot of people that they want to become the driver to push the scene. Me and Wing, we are not the drivers to push the scene because we don't have the resources to do it. Okay, we are here to support the scene. But again, you cannot just have one driver to pull a 10-ton rock. You need multiple people to help you.
Yeah.
You need a team. That is why we feel like it's about time we do this podcast. We were thinking of this podcast for 1 year already, but I think today was the big blow to us because I feel like it's bullshit. What's happening today about our event was absolute bullshit.
It just happened.
Yeah, just happened. It doesn't make sense because that if it made sense, okay, right? But this is like pure like someone is like, you know what? No, you know, which we feel like is enough, you know. So I think it's better like whatever, you know, if you guys want to come here talk alone, you know, to the key players in the drift scene If you want to come here talk alone, you want to come here debating someone, whatnot, we are here.
Yeah.
You know, because we can actually sit down, talk. What's your problem? At least the both people, they tell the truth.
Even online also we can do.
Yeah.
Chelsea don't offer. Wait for your call.
Because I feel like as long as both parties talk to each other face to face, anything can be solved. Because I'm very sad that the drift scene is going to this route. I'm very, very sad.
Yeah.
Like it really breaks my heart But again, if this team keeps going on, I will not care for the scene anymore. I just want to go and drive.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting, again, like how we are getting fed up with competition, we're starting to get fed up with this shit already also.
Yeah.
You know, so I think they just have to mediate Someone have to mediate them. I don't say that we have to be the mediators you know. I mean, if you guys are listening, go and talk to yourselves. So,
Talk to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like go and talk by yourselves. You know what I mean? Like you call him, talk. What's the fucking problem? Settle it, right? Like stop this bullshit about I'm going here, I'm going there, or I don't want to join this guy's competition, I don't want to join that guy's competition. This one don't have Stop it. You know, everybody who says this they actually got some love for drifting. You know, it's actually their intentions is for the drift scene one.
Actually, they're not hating.
Yeah, they're not hating.
They are hurt inside.
Yeah, they're not to say they are. Oh, I just want to kena this guy only. No, they are doing it for the sport. But again, make sure the intentions are mutual. Like everyone agrees. That is why again a drift association has to be made in Malaysia. Like someone has to come out and say, you know what, I'm doing a drift association. We're going to have the meeting here. Blah blah blah. Come, who wants to join the drift association? Come out. You know, of course, not everyone in drift association. Then that is just a community again going to fight inside.
Yeah.
Come out with a drift association, 6-7 members. all key players in the drift scene, any decision to be made on the table. Done. You won't have any problems after that. You know?
As long as the leaders align. So I like one song. They say the lyrics says, I love it and I hate it at the same time because you and I took the poison from the same wine.
Wine, yeah.
So we are different, maybe from different club lah, different views or what lah. But actually, in the end, in the root of what we are, why we joined the drifting is because we love the sport.
Correct.
But we also took the same poison.
Yeah.
And even we cannot meet eye to eye, but it's sad lah. It's just sad that, we can't have fun together, man.
That is the thing where now I think like for us is like we told ourselves like, wow, starting from this year we are going to do a lot of fun events.
Yeah.
Because we want to bring back the joy of drifting to some of these drifters lah. I feel like they're too stressed.
Yeah.
Thinking about this, that, this. Because drifting is a huge investment. Some of these guys, I think the cheapest pro car is about 100K. Cheap, like that is cheap lah. And it can go all the way up to $1 million, and we're talking about cash. So some of these guys, like me, one of them, the car I spent close to about 200 plus already, K. And that is all second-hand stuff, And then I spent so much money already. What am I going to do? You know what I mean? What am I going to do with the car? 'Cause I don't want to go competition now. I don't feel like going.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do? I feel like some of these guys, so they're like, wow, what are we going to do? I've spent so much money. I just suddenly have to just stop.
In the videographer, I watch a lot of video making videos. In the videographer community, they say they will go through this cycle one. So they started from a basic camera. Then they start to upgrade their stuff. Upgrade the better lens lah, different body lah, different lighting equipments. Then in the end, they use the most high-end stuff already. Then in the end, they will go back to the most basic camera one. Because they realize it's no longer about what gear you use, but what can you do with this camera. They started doing challenge like they use old flip phone.
Yeah.
And then versus a beginner using a high-end camera.
Yeah.
What can I do compared to you? That became very exciting.
Correct.
So in drifting, now I feel like after driving, joining competition, all this, I feel that just going to a fun drift event
is more than enough.
Go and hit your door.
Yeah.
That's
it's more than enough.
That's why I joined this sport in
Correct.
the beginning.
Actually, what you say is totally true. I mean, like I understand, like what we said, like Uncle Jet, OBG, they are taking this sport very seriously, right? They are super serious about the sport. They want to go to competition. I think their plan is also to go to overseas competitions later on. But again, like what you said, like for a drifter, of course the competition feel is better because that point, everyone is like, it's either I bring it or I don't bring it now. But when we go for fun drift, it's like, oh shit, I'm going to wreck my car now. Like in competition, you will kind of try to save your car because you want this on. I mean, there are some crazy drivers out there, Piotr Weishak, James Dean, they don't give a F lah. They spoil their car or not because they got a huge team. Like for us, we go competition, we want like, okay, I have to relax, top 32 first, then only I have to try to, push a bit more in top 16. Then, of course, we haven't reached that point of go to top 2 yet lah. Or sorry, top 4 lah. We haven't reached that point, but I think like a lot of drivers telling like top 4 is like, okay, make it or break it. The car break lah. But when we go competition, when we go fun drift, like every run is like break lah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Every run is that. Every run is break lah. I want to like really, go. So it's like, I don't know lah. It's just the most fun I've had in a long, long time, man. Like a long time.
And right after drift event, the next day is very weird one, the feeling. Like because the whole day you have so much adrenaline going up to your head, then next day suddenly like, very peaceful.
You like
why is my life sad? That feeling.
Because a lot of people they don't understand when you sit in a drift car, you're feeling a lot of stuff. But when you're driving, it's nothing one. I can't remember my runs. Like I only see videos. I was like, oh, I did that, I did this. Where I cannot like close my eyes now and think of me, think of a time where I was driving in Shah Alam. I cannot because my mind was blank. At that moment, it was blank. you know. Suddenly some stupid shit happened and like, oh, you know, I put the stuff on the car spin, I put that bread. But you only remember that part.
Yeah.
You don't remember going through.
It's like you are the car like that.
Yeah, you like you. It's blur. It's blur, which don't get scared when we say this lah. It's not like you black out lah and let the car drive. It's not like that. It's
Just
just
like
like
when you're driving on highway, then I'm driving. That feeling.
yeah. It's like suddenly you just like wow, you know, and you stop. You're like okay, you know, I feel like when I drift, I don't even breathe. We don't know because we don't know what's happening. I feel like you don't know what's happening, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know lah. Drifting is just an amazing sport to be in, but again, politics has to stop lah.
Yeah.
Has to stop.
Just I feel everyone has to just remember why everyone loved this sport in the beginning. It's to have fun and enjoy the sport.
Exactly.
That's why we are bringing it back lah, sort of.
That's why like when you said wanted to do the podcast, like we don't have the mic and all, and then we're like, we don't actually need it lah, because talking like this is a lot better. Of course, having a good setup is also good lah. But again, we just want to express like we already told how we started, what we came from, and I feel like it's the drifting has to come back lah. We have to come back to that point where like wow, you know.
Yeah. Well, here's a scary thing.
What's the scary thing?
I scared the video stop, you know, because we never check. Okay, that's all for this episode of Siokpot. Well, I'm gonna come over and check whether it's
video
rolling
stop
or
or
not.
not.
If it stopped rolling,
A dead.
see you on episode 2.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's rolling.
Oh.
Nice.